therefore, people were coming to me from around the world. I wasn't advertising. I wasn't telling people what I did, but desperate people have desperate friends. And people were becoming well after they had been told that they had to live with the pain, or there was no treatment, or they should go home and die. And so word spread, as it does when there's a useful resource. And I treated ordinary folk like us, and I treated the elite, although I refused some of them. But a head of state came to me, and she had chronic issues, health issues that we did manage to correct. And one day she said to me, you know, it's almost time for the great culling to begin. And I said, what? The what? She said, culling, C-U-L-L-I. I know the word, but what are you talking about? She said, the culling of the useless eaters. Now, this was in 2002, and I had never heard the term useless eaters. Now, partly because of me, I think a lot of people have heard of that term, but I was new to it. I said, what's a useless eater? She said, not what, my dear, who? I said, okay, who's a useless eater? She said, those people who are consuming our non-renewable resources. And I said to her, did it ever occur to you that you're consuming their non-renewable resources? And she said, oh, well, that's an interesting idea. Well, anyway, and she dismissed that out of hand. She said, it is time. It's almost time for the culling of the useless eaters. And I said, well, how many of these useless eaters are you planning on culling? And she said, 90%. And I said, 90% of what? Can you hear me? So I asked her how many of these useless eaters she was planning on culling. And she said 90%. And I said, 90% of what? And she said, the total world population. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Your enormous fortune, this is an immensely wealthy person, yes. Your enormous fortune depends on selling massive amounts of shit to huge numbers of people. If you don't have huge numbers of people to sell your massive amounts of shit to, how are you going to maintain your enormous fortune? And she said, no, you really don't understand, do you, my dear? I said, clearly not. And by the way, I hate it when people call me my dear who do not have a relationship with me. But she said, the mercantile era, which began in the 14th century with the Hanseatic League in Germany, is coming to an end. We are moving to a neo-feudal era. There will be us, the neo-aristocrats at the top, surrounded by our servants and servitors. And that, Maria, was the first time I ever heard anybody use the word servitor in a sentence. Surrounded by our servants and servitors, and around them, our technicians. And that entire short pyramid requires only 10% of the current world population. And she left, cured, by the way, and she also brought me her children to see. And I thought, either this woman is a completely insane lunatic, or she has just given me a deeply, deeply valuable clue about reality that I didn't suspect anything about. And of course, the answer is both, as the world so often gives us complex answers. Because yes, she is a psychopath. She was raised to be a psychopath. And a psychopath has no affiliation or concern or connection with or affection for anyone or anything other than his or her own perceived well-being or benefit. And she also was giving me very valuable information. It had the ring, as crazy as it was, of truth. So I started studying.
I think I just want to pause there. I think we use the word psychopath a lot to describe